like scary movies?
Uh-huh. I'm getting ready to watch a video.
You making popcorn?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. Talk to me. Talk to me.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the finale of the Best Little Horror House in Philly, the show where we talk about the best horror movie ever made, according to our guest, at least. But this isn't just the finale. It's also the last episode of Plutember, which, as is tradition, means I'm joined by not one, but the two other hosts of We Heard About Pluto, Mike Regan and JP Novak. Howdy, fellas.
Whoa.
Boy, howdy. Wow.
Last episode of Plutember. It's
End of an era. End of an era, no doubt.
We'll be taking down our Plutember trees.
Yes, truly tragic. And JP, you weren't here for this, but I was remarking to Reeks here. I didn't check, so I might be talking out my ass here, but my belief is that the two of you are the most appearingest guests of the show by virtue of Plutember, and then the one legal thriller that we did.
And you're not saying that that's related to the ending of the show, right? That's just total coincidence there.
The performance data has shown an incredible cliff related to these episodes, but I just don't care, frankly.
Obviously, you keep having us back.
Yeah. See, a lot of the top comments are like, "Who the fuck are these guys?
How do they keep getting invited back?" No, hey, We Heard About Pluto bond is stronger than any performance data could ever hope to weather.
That's right. It's around the summer. It created a whole holiday.
That's
for
right.
God's sakes.
That's exactly right. And I'd like to see performance data do that.
That's right.
Couldn't do it.
Can't
do it. But excitingly, this also means that it's my pick. What a crazy coincidence that the final episode.
Plutember.
That's right. It turned out to be Plutember. And I really wanted to go out with a fun and bizarre one. So I chose Roar from 1981. Now, for people who don't know this movie, the tagline is a fur-ocious comedy. And you might be saying, George, you must have made a mistake. This isn't a show about comedy movies. It's a show about horror movies. But let me tell you, dear listener, that's what Reegs said. He said that exactly to me. And I had this exact conversation with him. And I said, let me tell you, Reegs, not only is it deeply unfunny, it's also terrifying. So I feel very comfortable in calling Roar a horror movie. Now, had either of you heard of this movie before I chose it for the podcast?
I had heard of it. I only heard of it when a couple of years back, the internet started posting the pictures of young Melanie Griffith and Tippi Hedren. And then there's a lion like leaping through their kitchen window and they're cuddling with tigers. And at the time, my only thought was Hollywood excess. Am I right? I didn't realize the degree, the depths to which this was. No, I mean, joking. We'll get into it. But look, there's not a lot of people who are like, I'm going to own a lion and just make that work. And then the stupidity of just letting it run loose in their house.
You really can do anything when you have money.
When you have that much money and fame, like, yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
It does seem to be a hobby of like the rich elite is to be,
yes.
I think I'll have a lion. Yeah.
Right.
And now the interesting factoid I did learn as I was researching this is that Tippi Hedren actually got all of these big cats to keep away the birds.
Wow, that makes a lot of sense. I actually don't know why I didn't put that together, but it may just based on her history. I don't know if you guys know this. She was in the movie The Birds.
Right.
So,
what? The one with the penguins from Madagascar?
That's right, Mr. Popper's penguins.
Okay.
No, yes, of course, Tippi Hedren, very famous for The Birds. Classic movie. In fact, former best horror movie ever made, as far as I have heard.
Wow. Until we heard about Roar.
That's right. That's exactly right. What about you, Reegs? Had you heard of this one before?
No, not until very recently. It's very coincidental that we're talking about it because I think I heard it. I was listening to Freedom, the podcast, and I think Paul F. Tompkins talked about this movie and referred to it as the, kind of gave like the most dangerous shoe. I could be butchering it. It was a podcast, and I think it was that one. I think it was him. But no, I hadn't. And then you had mentioned it to us, and looked it up briefly, did a quick Google search on it, and it seemed insane.
You binged it on
And
Google?
I binged it on Google. Yeah, I tried. Yes, I asked.
I had Jeeves fetch it for me.
Yes.
Nice.
Oh, Jeeves. R.I.P.
Rip, big rip.
Big rip for Jeeves. But yeah, no, this is very recent discovery for me, and I'm excited to dive into it because it didn't disappoint in terms of it being insane, like I thought it was when I looked it up. And probably the funniest part of the movie is that the tagline, a ferocious comedy. Like that's the funny part of the movie. That's the tagline.
I definitely, I don't think I laughed, at least not at something they wanted me to laugh at in the movie. I was literally scared through the first 20, 25 minutes. At one point, actually was thinking I might have to stop watching it for right now. And we'll get into it, folks, but I've never been more scared watching a movie.
It's very freaky.
I would co-sign that, JP. Like this is, and just knowing it. Like if I didn't know anything about the movie and was watching it, I would assume, oh, there's professionals there that have got this shit on lockdown, but
yeah, no, not the case.
And that these are trained animals.
Right. These are actors, not just lions.
Couldn't be me. As far as my exposure to this, I first heard about Roar on Red Letter Media, the YouTube show. They covered this on their Best of the Worst series back in 2019. And it's funny, that was actually a crazy episode because they also covered Winter Beast, which is also a movie that I love and is insane and took a lot of time. So I definitely encourage people to check out Winter Beast as well. But they covered this movie and they also helpfully provided some of the context of the movie for that episode. And yeah, it's just like a crazy story, which obviously we'll get into. But once you hear someone prepare you for the movie and you're like, I bet I have an idea of what this will look like on screen. And then it is like so much more frightening and tense than you anticipate in your mind. Even just like being around them, these cats are just constantly in motion, constantly pawing at people. Like it's fucking freaky.
Take a breath. Yeah.
It's completely frenetic the entire time. It I didn't realize until you just said that was part of my feeling tense was like, there's always a cat attacking something in every scene.
There's one moment I remember, and I think it's like at like 25 minutes in where they just cut to the family getting to like driving, like with the other family.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such a breath of fresh air. It's crazy because there's not like, and it lasts for maybe 90 seconds. And I remember thinking, oh, thank fucking God. We can just hear dialogue.
Absolutely agree. Oh my God. Melanie Griffith was my savior when she appeared on screen. Just like, oh,
that's
you're
so
not
funny.
being eaten.
So yes, Tippi Hedren, star of The Birds, and her husband/manager, Noel Marshall, were wrapping production on another movie in Mozambique and stayed behind to do some safari tours where they fell in love with big cats and specifically saw an abandoned plantation house overrun by a pride of lions, and they latched onto this image, kicking off the 11-year endeavor to make Roar as part of an attempt to raise awareness of big cat overhunting and poor treatment in captivity as well. Noel wrote it and was intent on directing it as well. He said, "This is my baby. This is true auteur status." He was putting his heart and soul into this.
George, had he ever acted or directed anything prior to this?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. No, JP, he hadn't, and he thought my first time should really be with untrained big cats.
Makes sense.
Very, very funny to look into it and see them quoting the animal trainers that they discussed their plans with as calling them, quote, brain sick, completely and utterly insane, and describing their plan as a suicide mission.
Yeah.
But besides simply calling them deranged, one important piece of information that these trainers imparted is that big cats are extremely territorial. Unless they're raised together, that is. So Tippi and Noel began to smuggle lions into their California home. Smuggling is maybe, well, there was a little smuggling probably, but there was also a lot of people who
it wasn't above board.
Right. And people would be like, oh, I bought a big cat, like I bought a lion cub for my rich child, and it turns out that they grow into lions. So would you like this lion?
Classic.
Yeah, that is classic.
My neighborhood too, you know?
Yeah, exactly. They wound up with over 150 lions alone, according to their son on the commentary, including, quote, the Wild Bunch, which came from the satanic cult led by Anton LaVey, and they were all mean and used for breeding purposes only. Nobody went in there with them.
So that's a good idea.
And then for the movie itself, they used 67 lions, tigers, leopards, cougars, a single cheetah, some servals. What they at one point just said a jungle cat. I don't know what that means. and Timbo the elephant. One of the actual stars, a lion named Robbie, was truly a victim of police violence. This is not a joke, but during one of the floods on set, he got shot by the sheriff.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
What about the deputy?
Well, now Robbie has a son who is then new Robbie in the movie.
That's right. Gary. It's classic Gary.
Classic Gary.
Classic Gary.
Gary and Robbie are a dynamic duo, and we all know and love them.
Gary and Robbie, it's hard to go 5 minutes without hearing someone talking about them.
Poor icons.
And then there was Scar. There was also Scar, and you could tell he was bloody and had a black mane.
Right. Yeah, he had a big scar on his eye.
That's true.
That's how you can tell. He quoted Hamlet a lot. It was weird.
Yeah.
But so they moved the whole group because it got so overwhelming. They moved this whole pride of lions to a ranch 40 miles north of LA, and they started the shoot. Now you might say, where did they find a cast willing to work with these untrained animals? And to that I say, they basically didn't. It was Marshall and Hedren herself, their 4 kids, including Melanie Griffith, and some veteran animal trainers who weren't really actors, but would at least get within striking distance of the cats.
Oh my
Insane.
God.
It's I guess if you self-finance it, you can do whatever you want. But like, it's just the fact that this was actually got to the point of cameras are on and we're doing this. It seems like one of those movies that should have it should be just a documentary. Like that we tried to make this and people thought we were insane.
It's basically a found footage movie.
Yeah, it really is. And one of these actors is a Kenyan gentleman named Mativo, who, like basically everyone in the movie, plays someone named after himself. And this character is very, very fun. It's a good performance, and it was really funny in the commentary. They were talking about how upfront this actor was about, like, I don't want to be friends with the cats. I don't want to sleep with them or eat with them. After the scenes, I'll leave, and you come get me and tell me what to do when it's time. And they were like, and you know what? He's the only one of the cast who didn't get bit really bad.
Yeah.
And also, boy, that's his character on the screen too.
yeah, it definitely works.
He was a hoot.
Yeah.
He tried to chase a lion away or a tiger away with an umbrella.
Who hasn't been there?
Yeah, that's what he gives them. Here, just use this.
Yeah,
it's an umbrella. Like, oh, okay.
Now, for a cinematographer, they get a European looking for his first American break. This man got his SAG card based on the strength of Roar. Or not SAG, I guess, whatever the cinematographer equivalent is. They said he got into the American Union based on this. Could be CAG, cinematographers, probably CGA, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. I probably could just Google this and then edit it so that no one would ever know. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to sit here not knowing. Hey everyone, this is George from the future. I actually had to know. So it turns out that it is the Local 600 chapter of the International Cinematographers Guild, also known as IATSE Local 600. That's the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees, which represents the technicians, artisans, and craftspeople. So there you go. There's also the ASC, the American Society of Cinematographers. So now we all know. Luckily for them, this European looking for an American break that they found happened to be Jan de Bont, famed director of Speed and Twister. That's convenient. That's a lucky break.
So 2 good movies.
Yeah.
Does he only direct movies that have one-word names? Is that his thing?
I believe
relevant to tornadoes. Twisters are speed.
That's true. They are speedy. And not enough people are talking about that.
No, how fast they are.
Yeah.
It's the word on the street. All right, so What happened next?
So they take 5
I'm
years
so
to
excited
film
to
it.
talk about this. You don't understand. I'm so excited. There's so many insane things that happened during the making of this movie.
Yeah, there certainly is. They take 5 years to film it, and you might think, oh, that must be because they were being so safe. In which case, you couldn't be more wrong, you absolute fool. There are over 70 documented attacks. That number only counts the people who went to the hospital. Thankfully, nobody was killed, though not for lack of trying on the Lions' part.
Yeah.
The Devant was scalped and needed over 200 stitches on his head. Hedren got a broken leg and several scalp wounds of her own. Melanie Griffith needed 100 stitches and reconstructive surgery after being mauled. And Noel got attacked so many times that he got fucking gangrene, he got fucking blood poisoning because he was just exposed to so much bacteria and open wounds that his literal blood became poison.
Wild stuff.
That's just the highlights, too. Melanie Griffith almost lost an eye in the filming of this. Multiple of the main actors got gangrene. And one of the actors one of the sons was attacked by a lion that clamped onto his skull and didn't release him for 25 full minutes.
Oh my God. Terrifying. What point do you think, was there a drop dead point where it's like, okay, if someone dies, we're done? Like, or do you think
so?
I don't think they have that at all. Not even a little
cameras
bit.
were rolling no matter what?
That's right.
Nope.
And I mean, they're working through people walking off constantly. You know, those injuries were just the main cast. This is to say nothing of everyone else. The crew was pretty inconsistent thanks to the injuries, frequent hospitalization, and quitting, occasionally even en masse. In the making of featurette, this guy Chris, who was an animal trainer on it, talked about lunch getting called and the entire crew just walking off.
Wow. I can't say that I blame them.
No, not at all.
Pop quiz hot shot. Little Jan Devant reference here.
Twister.
Yeah, that's right. It's from Twister.
Mm-hmm.
Guess how much money the crew got paid?
Oh, man.
Oh, no.
Not much. This is probably a low number.
I'll give you that. That is my
all right. I'm gonna go the opposite
number.
direction. They got $1 billion each. That's my guess. Final answer. Locked in.
Now, wait. Total or this was
per
their
week. This
rate?
is a weekly sum.
A weekly sum back in the 80s or 70s, I guess. I'm gonna say they got $5 a week.
More than that. Wow, you were really stingy. They received $80 a week to make this movie.
It's a big break. They did it for the exposure.
Yeah.
I don't get out of bed for $80, baby.
I wonder what that is today.
$277
Nope.
a week.
A week. No, that's not going to cut it.
They are making less than $1,200 before taxes.
Yeah, that's not going to do it.
Although it's funny because they did say that they would line up at the end of the week and just get handed $80. So I don't know how much taxes was getting paid out of this $80 cash that these people were getting to work on the Crazy Lion movie.
It just gets worse and worse.
Yeah, it's like you would think that that would be what the benefit was. Is that, at least I'm making bank here, risking my life. No.
Certainly not. And you might think, well, if they can't take precaution, surely there will at least be some kind of medic on set.
Right.
No, you idiot. It wasn't in the budget. They had a gaffer who doubled as a medic and he left a year into the movie.
We needed 120 lions. Those things cost money.
The nearest hospital was 45 minutes away.
Oh my God. It's awful.
It's so upsetting. It's so upsetting.
Then on top of the injuries, which you might call a natural byproduct of the insane concept, right? You make a movie about lions, you might get bit. Comes with the territory. But
okay, that tracks.
Yeah. But then there was also multiple floods, including one that took out the whole set, a fatal illness that spread through the Pride of Lions like wildfire, actual wildfire, and the fact that nobody wanted to pay for the movie, both from a liability and financial returns perspective, and the financiers they did have pulled out 2 years in.
Shocker.
Part of what's kind of funny about this for me is that there's the notorious curse around The Exorcist, and Marshall was an executive producer on that. And as he and Hedren sell everything they've got to fund this $17 million production that is struck by blow after blow, people start going, oh my God, he spent Exorcist money on this, and now it's cursed too.
Oh, shit.
I buy it. I believe it.
Yeah, it makes sense. I did notice that was one of his only credits. The guy was that he was an EP on Exorcist and one other movie. I can't think, and then this one. But that was it.
That's right. Then there's a kind of self-perpetuating difficulty. For example, they are using untrained animals, so they talked about there being days of shooting, or even 2 in a row, where they didn't actually get anything usable, or how because they had shot over 5 years, Joel, the son, who didn't really like acting but was a production designer, had to do a lot of like painting leaves yellow in the spring and green in the fall. So just a lot of these things that take time and build up and are, if not money expensive, time consuming, and expensive that way.
It reminds me of The Simpsons when they painted those horses to look like cows.
Classic.
Just like, because they look better on screen. Like painting leaves red and green.
Right.
You do what you got to do.
I guess so. And it finally debuts in 1981 without even really getting a theatrical release in the US. Tippi Hedren said that it was because distributors wanted the lion's share of the money.
Oh.
Good line. She should be proud of that. It's as good as my birds joke earlier.
Yeah.
It's not as good as your birds joke.
Oh, thanks, Riggs.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, George.
But after all this effort with no real fanfare, it's a huge flop. It also doesn't really get a good reception by those who do see it, thanks in part to the insane tone. Which this
Correct.
is honestly a huge part of my reason for picking it. There's this weird, lighthearted plot that feels intensely surreal to be unfolding while surrounded by intense peril.
Yeah.
The animals
Correct.
are completely untrained, and it's so clear. People are constantly soaked in blood. Melanie Griffith's mauling is in the final cut. You see the fear in everyone's eyes as the cats improvise. Although bad improv being terrifying is nothing new, it's usually not this actually life-threatening.
Right. I've never seen lions do improv too. So if that's what it is,
I would definitely go and see lions doing improv.
I
would see
We
it.
just watched it.
We did just see it.
Yeah, we did just see it. Never mind, I
The
wouldn't.
tone was insane too.
Yeah.
Like it was like, and we get into the plot, but like just some of the dialogue choices were it just, golly gee willikers, look at all these lions. Like, and it's like,
They're just like acting through it. They're
Yeah.
just like, if I ignore the blood, people won't notice. But
You were
they're
being
gushing.
yeah.
You were being very generous with your use of the word acting there. But that was part of the cartoonishness too, is our main character is the most insanely optimistic and peppy person ever on Earth.
Yeah, that's right.
And there's like cartoon, like prancing music throughout many of the scenes.
I
Like
love the
it's-
music.
Oh no. But it lends to the it just, your brain can't process these two things that this is at once. There is absolutely a section in the movie that is a straight up horror movie. Straight up. And
The whole thing.
while they have
is
like
a straight up horror movie.
Bugs Bunny tiptoe music going, like I'm remembering it, and I'm like, what was this? It was awesome.
I would
It
describe
was
it
awesome.
as Amblin-esque.
Yeah.
It's like weird music to be laid over this movie.
It's one of the only movies I can think of that where the music didn't set the tone, because it was the terror that I was witnessing on screen. Like, you're right. Like the cartoonish like tone, like the music, I did notice it, but it's just, it was almost like in the background, because I'm like, holy shit.
You want to like shake them and be like,
Right.
pay attention, there's lions.
Like, what are you insane? What are you, stupid? Yeah.
No, I have two theories on this now, because one theory is these people don't know because they live with big cats, and this is like their normal lives is just getting like the shit beat out of them regularly by big cats. And so they're making this and they're like, guys, this is our fun, happy time. Come and join us. This is what it's like when we have fun times at the Tippi Hedren household. Maybe that's what it was, because the alternative is that it's just insane. It's just insane.
Well, John talks like, I mean, you see them in the behind the scenes footage and the like commentary, and they talk about the like, obviously it's a crazy idea, but we look back on our time pretty fondly and like what a great opportunity and like crazy experience that we got. And this is like they're doing like the Ken Burns effect on like a picture of him riding a lion. It's like, well, I guess he's right. Like, who the fuck else got to do that?
I guess.
I don't know. It didn't end well for he and Tippi.
The acting through it was the most insane part to me, because it's like I couldn't relate to it. And it's like, how are you like not, like, I don't know if it was me, like,
Riggs, it's commitment to the role.
Like, how are your pants not soaked with urine, your own urine, and out of fear? And how are you not constantly having to, like, I would be crying.
They lived with them for years.
It's, I guess.
Yeah.
Too,
well, you can tell
that's comforting to know that. I did not know that, because like watching it, I'm like, I thought it was just like this one guy.
They were just thrown in. No,
like, I thought it was one
family.
guy's like pet project, and like the other people were just kind of involved.
No, the whole family, because they couldn't get anyone else. So the whole
makes
family
the acting through it more, I guess, less insane, but it's still insane.
It's still insane.
Yeah.
They did talk about it at one point. Melanie was like, pretty early on, was like, I don't think I want to do this movie. And so they like were like, fine, we'll get your fucking friend to be in it. I think her name was like Patty or something. She was like a neighbor who had been over a lot, so she was also like comfortable with the cats. And then after seeing everybody like be in the movie together, Melanie was like, no, I want to be in the movie now. So they're like, sorry, Patty, you're fired. And she was like, I worked with these fucking cats for nothing. And that's
film
fucking
anything?
Hollywood, baby. Yeah, she's actually in the movie. There are a few times, especially on the Blu-ray, where you can like see that it's not Melanie Griffith, but it's only a few moments.
Interesting.
Tippi doesn't really talk about this very much anymore because she continued to dedicate her life to the humane treatment of animals, but her foundation is like, this movie is insane and should never have been made. The animals should be away from humans. And it's funny to me because I think that the movie does paint that picture by accident. That you watch that movie and you go, oh, they shouldn't be around people.
Yes. 100% yes.
Yeah.
So mission fucking accomplished, I guess, Tippi.
I will say that part was especially cool because a huge part of the budget was the care of the animals. Mm-hmm. And so they actually built out what ended up becoming a animal sanctuary. And so Shambhala. The foundation, right. And so the foundation that she runs is what they created for this movie. So like, at least that came out of it.
Right. There is at least some positive legacy to it. Definitely some blood. Nobody died.
It's funny that she had that real.
We just want you listeners. We just want you to know nobody died.
I did not pick a snuff film. It's just very close.
Very close. Very, very close.
I think it's funny that she had that realization that like, oh, lions should be around humans, because that was glaringly apparent to me from minute one. Right. And not only do I feel less comfortable after watching this movie, being around lions, not more comfortable, very, very much less comfortable. I'll blanket that for all big cats. Talking to you, tigers. I'm talking to you, leopards.
Oh,
wow, leopards,
tigers
too.
on
wow.
notice.
Yeah.
Panthers.
Riggs, be afraid of everything. That's what I want you to know.
It's not limited to cats, I'm afraid. That's right.
I think I did read this too, and it's just this whole movie.
Well, let's get into it. Oh wait, actually, no, there was one more. There was one more thing I wanted to say. It has been brought back to some notoriety thanks to the endorsement of Alamo Drafthouse. The founder of that company has sort of been a champion for this movie. It was a big part of getting it restored and back in front of people. And, it's funny because even since then, I feel like whenever I talk to people about this movie, they're like, oh, it's boring. And I don't understand that, because
That's an insane. Did they write the movie?
I don't know. I don't know.
Because that's an insane opinion.
It is crazy because there's not much plot, but I am on the edge of my seat the whole time. Just like, get the fuck out of there.
Look, man, this is Cinemax late night. I ain't watching this for the plot.
Oh, I actually did watch those for the plot.
That's a dated reference. Kids, we used to have cable television.
Whoa.
Cable television.
That's right.
That's it. Look the rest up.
Rabbit
yourself.
ears.
All right, now let's get into it. It opens up with quite the song, African rhythms and a distinctly white vocals, aka the 80s special, baby.
Pre-Paul Simon.
That's right, it was pre-Paul Simon. This time it's Robert Forzak singing Whose Land Is This? Under the pseudonym Robert Hawk.
That sentence just kept getting better.
Yeah, it's really paid off at the end too. Hey, it's a banger, though. I'm not gonna lie.
It was a banger. It really set the stage. Africa.
Yeah.
White man's
plays,
Africa.
Yes.
Oh god, it plays over and over again on the main menu of the DVD. And
oh god.
while I was like doing some preliminary notes, I just like had it up there. I was like going a little bit insane just listening to this on a loop. It is a pretty fun song.
Yeah.
And you also get a lot of very nice nature footage, lots of cute animals running around. This and some pickup footage were the only part actually shot in Africa. And then it cuts to the preserve when the credits let us know, since the choice was made to use untrained animals, and since for the most part they chose to do as they wished, it's only fair that they share the writing and directing credits, before indeed crediting Robbie as Robbie, Gary as Robbie's son Gary, and a huge bloody face comes up to credit Togar as Togar.
Oh,
Scar.
Taylor.
Yeah, he is big time
Fucking
Scar.
Scar.
Yeah.
He's scar coated.
They also do a big time shout out to the Maasai and all the people of Kenya and Tanzania.
Mm-hmm.
These people are having some small wounds treated by Hank, who is a scientist with a bit of veterinary knowledge. He's got a cool motorcycle as he rides home, racing through the birds and with the giraffes in a way that certainly intentionally draws a parallel between their naturalness and a sort of reversion to that natural state himself. And when he arrives home and we get our first glimpse of the cats, you might think if you were making this movie, well, let's put some nice gentle scenes of the lions and get people on their side.
Warm them up.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No.
Look at these cuddly, ugly little babies.
No. Immediately, Hank is like, fuck, what is Togar doing here? And there's a huge lion fight.
Yeah.
A huge lion fight with him running at Togar screaming,
Right.
like flailing his arms around. You don't flail your arms around cats. You don't do it unless you want to get a big old scratch.
Well,
It just
tell me
scared me
this. Tell me this,
immediately.
JP. If you're not supposed to flail your arms around, are you supposed to play chase, otherwise known as engaging their hunting drive like a moron?
Absolutely, that seemed fine. He was on a like 50cc dirt bike, so he was gonna be fine.
Yeah. We do finally get some cute stuff when he has to bottle feed some wiggly cheetah cubs. And he's like,
terrible at that.
yeah, he's not very good. But he's like, wait until my family gets here tonight. They're gonna love you. Only problem is, they're not getting here tonight. They've arrived. And they're stranded at the airport, making sure we know exactly how this guy wound up in Africa and how eager he was to leave it all behind.
This is about 30 minutes into the movie, by the way.
The lion fight takes up a lot of time.
We're really fast forwarding the plot. It goes so quickly.
Yeah.
The lion fight is
Lions.
a lot of
Lions.
it. It is quite a bit of, and it's terrifying too. It's like you're unsettled from the jump. Like they do have that nice scene where they have the giraffe outrunning the motorcycle, which I thought was cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they're always going to be more powerful than you, bro.
So true. So true.
And then
That's
it
why
just
we eat them.
jumps. Yes, of course. Love a giraffe burger. Yes, guilty. But it just jumps you right into this, and it doesn't let you up. Like I guess you do have that 1 minute where he's riding that motorcycle, which is calm. But then that lion fight is a cool 20 minutes.
Yeah, and that motorcycle is like in the credits. It's like not even real movie.
Right? Yeah, you're still you're just getting into it.
Yeah. So funny when his buddy Mativo arrives at the ranch and is kind of scared, but as Hank is calming him down, not only are there just like quick flashes of the cats being intimidating sprinkled in. It feels like Jan de Bont snuck these in. Like, because there's just like flashes of scary lions in the middle
100
of this scene.
This is what I mean when I say it's like a frenetic movie. Like there are no long shots. There's no single pan in this one. Like
No.
this is nonstop. Exactly what you're saying, George. Just nonstop. Like this lion attacking this lion like looking menacing in a tree. Like it gives you a real sense of you should be scared for your life at
Right.
all times because they're coming from all directions.
As a viewer too, like there's no, like, while you're looking at that, there's no like sanctuary where like the people can go to where there aren't any lions or big cats, and they make a very concerted effort to show you that, like, hey, they're everywhere and there's all different kinds. You're fine.
No, they just go. If you go into the house and you close the door, you're fine.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes. That's
Ironic that there's no sanctuary at the sanctuary.
Oh, I like that.
Hank is calming Motivo down, and they stop mid-sentence at one point because a lion is roaring in their face. And then he's completely taken down by a group of like 5 female lions and just knocked over and swarmed. And there's such dissonance between what they're saying and what we're watching.
Yes.
And he's like, don't be scared, they're not dangerous, but I am watching them be dangerous.
Yeah.
Yes. It's gaslighting like right directly. Like,
Yes,
there's
it
these
really
lions,
is.
these lions are not attacking you.
Yeah. Hank tells Motivo about the status of the pride. Robbie is the leader, but he's getting a little older and having a tougher time keeping old Togar away. Very funny that every time they mention Togar, they cut to him absolutely drenched in blood.
It's really funny. It never explained. Is it his blood? Is it somebody else's blood? We don't know.
Who could say? Who could say? I love this line. Oh God, I laughed so hard. Hank says, finally on the verge of paradise. All I need is my family to share it with me. And here comes Togar wrecking it. So true, King. So true.
Oh God. He's the everyman. Like that is, we all relate to that.
Yeah, yeah. And his plan is also revealed during a confrontation with the grant committee, tenuous as this plan is, to raise cats from all over together to see what happens. It's kind of it.
It's called science, George. Look it up.
Right. One of the grant committee members, Prentice, the only other member of this movie who is not named his own name, which I thought was interesting. Not a big fan of the cats and threatens to shoot them for being dangerous. This is interrupted by a huge fight between lions. And Hank running over to stop them from killing each other, and he just gets laid the fuck out over and over again himself in the process, very much validating Prentice's point.
Right. I mean, he's not doing, like, Hank's not doing himself any favors, and obviously Prentice his plan is bad. But yeah, like you're seeing this, and he's gonna feel empowered in his plan after witnessing this. You know,
the funniest part to me though is when he's like, "Great, mission accomplished," and walks away. Meanwhile, the camera is still fixated on cats going fucking nuts. There's lions 100%. Fighting each other. Some lions fighting a tiger. Tigers swimming over and sinking a boat. Black Panthers tearing at a jacket. Every permutation of cat is ready to fucking kill you is available. And they start attacking the grant committee while Hank patches up his hand. He like abandons these people to, well, not abandons, but ultimately, like, that's effectively what happens, is that he just leaves them to this pride of cats, and the cats go ape shit.
Yeah.
Which is also...
Yes, it was very upsetting. I was very worried about every individual in that scene, especially because this is right after I'm convinced that hand wound was real and that blood was real.
It was real. That was when he got gangrene.
Oh, God. That's what that was the gangrene wound?
Yeah, because it just bit like fully through his hand. And Tippy was like talking in the behind the scenes footage. She was like, it was like a day later and his veins were just like black, like going up his arm. Yeah, gross.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
And it's very menacing too, this part, because you see the tiger swimming so effectively. And like, it just I feel like it fences you in as a viewer, even more so. Like, there is no escape.
It got into the boat. There is no escape. It gets into your boat, and then it stares you in the face, and is just like, "I'm gonna tip this over, motherfucker."
That's exactly
and like,
right.
"Oh, cool, go ahead,
Yeah.
tiger. Whatever you want."
I guess you are doing that. And the tiger like chases down Prentice and tackles him into the water. And Prentice just slaps the tiger.
Yeah, he does. That was, again, the things I'm laughing at in this movie are not necessarily what they wanted me laughing at.
Yeah.
That was funny.
There was a line where he says like, "These cats can live in peace," and it's just constant conflict. The entire first section of the movie is just conflict at every turn. People are soaked in blood. And Hank is like, "Oh, it's fine. Everyone go patch yourself up." They're all like, "Fuck no," and speed away in their boats. And Hank is just like, "You're lucky Togar didn't get you." What the fuck, Hank?
No.
Sorry.
Come on, Hank.
Bernard,
Bernard.
We got a big cat.
Bernard wanted to say he's offended. He was
He
offended.
hears
Sorry
us
about
talking about his ancestors.
That's right.
that.
Meanwhile, Lula's
Ow, why did you
fast
just
asleep.
bite right through my entire hand?
You got to get a nice one, like Lula's asleep directly behind the computer right now, a complete donut. And if I said, "Hey, cats are big stinky dummies," nothing, not even a slur. So,
I don't know how
Bernard,
you both explain your gangrenous limbs then.
Oh, it's fine. I'm gonna like wait. I'll put some swampy lake water on it. It'll be good.
Yeah, that will be good for it.
Rub some lake water on it. All good.
I heard it's really good to get lots of different types of bacteria in there.
Well, it's
because they all fight over.
Yeah, like big cats.
Yeah. These germs can live in peace.
That's how
it's a germ sanctuary.
Again, The Simpsons. That's how Mr. Burns stays alive.
We need to convince the grant committee that this germ sanctuary is right to keep going.
Yeah, we got to get in there.
Yeah. Hank discusses his theory that Robbie and Togar are brothers. And it's a little sad that his age is leading to the desperation that causes him to come by and be dangerous. But you don't get a lot of time to be sad about it because they're all attacked by lions again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It is literally nonstop.
Yeah.
They don't let them, they don't let you sit in a moment for too long.
That's right.
It is amazing they got what little plot they did out of this.
Yeah.
This is just a montage of lions attacking people.
It really is. And his family takes the bus to the ranch. We finally reached the break point.
Oh,
we
man.
get a moment.
Deep breath here. Yeah.
That's right. And this trip is the first real glimpse of the family. And it's very funny for the mom to, in the very same breath, establish that marriage trouble was a huge influence on why Hank left, and also lecture Melanie on being too sexed up. One day you'll understand the beauty of restraint and denial. Oh my.
A very strange dialogue exchange when you look at the rest of the movie. Like, it has nothing,
You're putting 150 big cats for personal use. I don't know that you get to lecture anybody on restraint.
That's very funny and a very good point. That's a really good point. Maybe it's ironic. Who knows? It is also weird because it's like her actual daughter, and it's like
that's what she said. Reeves, were you like weirded out that it was she was like having that conversation with her actual daughter?
Yeah, they just caught it on camera. It was not meant to be filmed.
It is strange. Yeah, it was just weird too, because it also felt like a moment where they're trying to develop these characters in a weird way, but then they never do it again.
Yeah.
And
also you're like, we don't care.
Yeah.
Did you see the fucking lions that are attacking?
Right. Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
This is a really good point. This is not a plot point. This is not character development. This is just like they forgot to edit out this conversation.
Right. Like this.
Like, we're not gonna hit feature length. Leave it in.
Yeah. We wasted all our editing money already. There's nothing left.
The editing machine is broken. Fuck. Dad is out on the water with Mativo when they arrive, though, thinking that he's got to go pick them up at night. And they find just a torn up jacket that makes them worry.
Yeah.
Though not as worried as they get when the lions start dragging a torn up zebra into the house and getting possessive about it. And funny enough, I don't know if they mentioned this in the trivia that you guys are reading, but in the commentary, they were talking about how, like, since this is all humane treatment, they were waiting for a zebra to die of natural causes, and they just couldn't get one. So when a donkey died, they said, all right, paint stripes on it with shoe polish.
Get that leaf paint. Get the
That's
leaf paint
right.
over here.
That's right. So that is even more like the horses you were discussing.
Yes, it is. Yeah, that's I bought that as a zebra, so they fooled me.
They
Yeah.
fooled you, and now you are the fool.
I am the fool.
Oh boy. Oh, sorry, buddy.
Oh,
I
I hate
know,
when that
it
happens.
sucks.
But
That
luckily, these actors will be the fools again momentarily. The non-lions up above start to approach as well. So you have lions on the ground floor and non-lions above.
The tiger chase is one of my favorite parts of the movie.
It's great. Look, this is the thing. I love this movie. It's crazy. I'm tense the whole time. It's just not what they claim it is. And so the family scrambles around to hide. The cats are fucking everywhere, though, man. They're trying to tear open the doors. They're rolling around in the blood. They are soaked in it.
I think if they give it a brief moment when the family gets there where they're like, all right, we're gonna clean up and we'll surprise your father. And it's like,
Right.
try to make it like this, like, oh, they don't realize the cats are there yet. And like, it's very funny for just a moment when the house is empty and they before they realize what's about to happen.
Well, they
Yep.
even like bring this on themselves because early on, Hank is like, everything's fine as long as you keep these specific windows shut and the lions can't get in. And then the first thing that happens is they're like, boy, it's stuffy in here. Let's get these windows open. It's like,
Yeah,
oh,
how
well,
stuffy could it be in their open air bungalow?
apparently
Right.
stuffy as fuck, bro. They said that it did get incredibly hot in that
Just-
in that set. So I don't know, man.
I'm just saying, characters in horror movies making bad decisions.
For
Okay,
sure.
it's a trope for a reason.
For sure. And the lion chaos traps not one, not two, but all three kids, which I had to laugh at. One is stuck in an ice box where he almost suffocates. One is in a living room cabinet. And one is in a locker like a damn
The
jock.
locker.
Put his nerd ass in there, not a lion.
Yep.
Although, what is a lion if not the jock of the animal kingdom?
I think it's so funny that the brothers, like, this is where the acting through it really rang to me. Like, the brothers are still razzing each other throughout all this. Like, what kind of jerk gets himself stuck in a locker? Like, bitch, get yourself to safety. Like, why? Like, there's no time for this. Get the hell out of there.
The oldest son definitely went to the same school of acting as the dad because he spits his words out so fast and with just seemingly random tonality, just not flowing in any kind of wave. It's brilliant. Again,
Yeah.
I said this to you guys in text. Oscar snub, absolute Oscar snub on this one.
For sure. And the family is torn on what to do as well. Melanie is immediately like, we need to get a gun. John, the elder son, wants to just wait it out and board up the windows until dad arrives. And Jerry, the younger son, wants to go take the motorcycle and get help. And Melanie is like, that's not helping. That's just you escaping, which I found very funny.
Yeah.
Good line.
Yeah,
Accurate.
that's right.
Where's he going to get help?
He doesn't know anyone.
Yeah.
What, are you gonna go borrow a damn
you come
cup
help
of
me deal with
sugar?
these. You come help me deal with these 100 lions.
That's right. We just moved into the neighborhood. By the way, our house is overrun with big cats. Please come save my family. Also, do you have recommendations on who we should get for internet service? That kind of
takeout. Yeah.
Right.
Right?
Now,
What's the best Chinese food around here?
the problem is that Togar causes more chaos to break out. God damn you, Togar!
Come on, Scar.
He's after the family, and he busts down several doors. Tippy loses her shirt in the process of escaping, which is so funny to me. You can imagine them being like, we have a better chance of selling this with some titties in the mix.
I
shoehorn that in.
I like to think of this movie as a prequel to the Top Gun volleyball scene because everyone is taking off shirts in this movie just all the time.
That's right. That's right.
100%.
This is another funny moment where there's hilarious heroic music when Robbie the Lion comes in to save them and kick Togar out. And you see, yeah, they're part of the pride too. Thanks, Robbie. Prentice is furious about having been scared off the property earlier. And when the committee doesn't believe his claims about fearing for the family's safety as a reason to kill the cats, he's like, well, I'm just going to do it anyway. Fuck all y'all. and he tells his little crony that he's been waiting to do this for a long time.
Yeah, he's very evil.
Yeah,
And you don't want to kill the cats.
He's a big time poacher, fucked up. Yeah, that guy sucks.
Yeah.
Sprinkled throughout the scenes that we've been discussing, Hank and Motivo have been having all kinds of misadventures on their way to the airport, thanks to two tigers following them. They're not trained cats, they're just friends, he says. But he finally arrives at the airport, and he immediately has to turn around with a borrowed car. So funny that Hank has just been fucking off the whole time. Meanwhile, Melanie, like literally at this moment, it cuts to Melanie, and she is like terrified and weeping about how they're gonna die.
Yeah.
And he's just like, fuck, I thought they were arriving in the evening, and they arrived in the afternoon.
Whoopsie daisy.
Yep. Again, this is all the horror part of the movie. Like Scar, literally, like slams through a cabinet and is coming out the other end, like Nicholson in The Shining. Like it's scary.
Yeah.
And oh, go ahead.
They keep getting like the locker and everything. Any kind of hiding spot is exposed immediately. Yeah. It's terrifying.
And he's like, well, I have to stop and pick up Motivo and the two tigers so we can all get into the car together. And obviously, the combined weight of two adult tigers and two adult men give the old jalopy a flat.
And even Motivo's like make them run. Like make them run, like not like send the. And it's just, of course, it's going to end poorly.
Yeah, that's right. And it's not even his fucking car.
No, and he ruins it.
It seems to do a lot of that. Families, lions, cars.
If I'm the wife, it's one-way ticket to Divorceville. After I'm like struck, like dealing with these lions for how long now before his ass gets here, and it seems like an entire day before he shows up.
Oh yeah, it's a day and a half. He like gets there at night, and it's not until the next morning that he arrives back at Motivo. It is crazy. And the cats are playing with their illicit goods, torn from the house to the sounds of triumphant music at golden hour. One tiger has a shoe stuck on his tooth. One little cub gets caught up in a comforter. Another rides a skateboard. That
was again Oscar snub. The skateboard is also my favorite part of this movie.
That's right. Apparently, this cat taught itself to ride the skateboard.
That's incredible.
Fuck yeah!
That's right. And Tippy had to beg people to give up their day off to get it after it almost got cut because they were behind schedule. And she was like, "We need to get the cat on a skateboard in this movie."
100%.
And she was right.
Yep.
Yeah, she made the movie.
Now, let me ask you, fellas, this, because I know I would.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, you gotta think Dad's dead, right?
Oh, yeah.
I don't understand why they think Dad is coming, because even in the scenario where they're being surrounded by wild animals who are trying to kill them, and they're like, "That's okay, Dad will show up out there," and question mark?
No.
That is such an insane. They the first thing they find is a torn up jacket, right. And I would at that point, I would be like, "Oh, he's dead."
He's
obviously
dead. 100%.
Lions, no
horror
fucking shit.
Movie. It's a fucking horror movie. They just don't realize they're in a horror movie.
That's right. Now they run for the boat with a pair of tigers going absolutely nuts right there, and Togar is watching them from across the pond. He's not the only one, though, with some lionesses eyeing them hungrily, and then who I think is Robbie. I may have him mixed up. If so, I apologize to the ghost of Robbie, but he is pawing at John until the boat flips. And this moment is the pawing lion gave him about 56 stitches here.
Oh my God.
I didn't know that. Oh,
wait, the point
it's
where
not my favorite scene in the movie.
They're in the boat, and then they pull up to the side. They think they're fine, but then the lions are pawing. That's where he gets all the stitches.
The lion keeps grabbing the boat and pulling it back. I was actually cackling at that.
Yeah.
It was this is real cat behavior.
Yeah.
So it is my favorite scene in the movie. That's got to be the best scene in the movie.
Yeah, it's very fun. But yeah, 56 stitches as a result. So
Jesus.
Wild.
Now, this is when an elephant gets in the mix.
Oh, yes.
And it knocks them all back in the water after they just got back in, and then straight up steals the boat just to smash it. And next it steals Tippi Hedren, lifting her up to its head and shaking her around before throwing her in the river and returning its attention to destroying the boat. And this scene it really fucking shakes me up, bro. like even before that, I tell you that this is a real injury that happens here. This is what JP was talking about earlier. I'm sure this moment with Tippy.
Yeah, sorry, didn't mean to spoil anything.
No, but just like even before you know that it's a real injury, you like watch the scene and you go like, oh, that doesn't look good. Like that looks like someone getting hurt. And that's reversed footage. So it looks like it's bringing Tippy up, but it was actually throwing her down.
Oh my God.
And it trapped her leg between the trunk and the tusk.
Holy shit.
It crushed her leg, and she wound up with gangrene as well.
That's fucking crazy.
Yep. And you could tell, I mean, it just didn't look natural or comfortable. That didn't look like acting. That didn't look choreographed, and it looked bad. But when I found out she got injured there, it was not surprising, but I didn't realize how it happened or that it's horrifying that that's the footage in reverse. That's horrifying.
Yeah.
Crazy. But also it is crazy where you're like, if I got fucking hurt, you better fucking use that footage. Like it better be worth something.
That's not gonna hit the floor for sure.
Yeah.
There is something about this scene really, this stuck out to me too, because I don't know what it is about elephants that like they're maybe only like more scary than the lions were, because I don't know if it's the size or the fact that, there's nothing, like I feel like lions, you kind of, the big cats, how they're going to behave. Like, I don't know how a fucking elephant's going to behave. Like, it just grabs that boat and smashes it.
It seems so much more malicious.
Yeah.
Than the lions did. The lions, you're on edge because you're like, I understand how claws work.
Right.
And I know that it's very easy to accidentally get hurt by a cat.
Right.
But this elephant is like, I am going to throw you out of this boat and destroy it.
Yeah, I'm gonna fuck you up. Yeah.
He fucked up that boat, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
yes,
for
quickly.
real. Like, I understand, like, they used like a thinner metal probably, but still, he busted.
I would be
through
surprised. I would be surprised.
Oh, you're right. They didn't have that in the budget.
Yeah, that's just a boat that they got.
That scene again. That was a legitimately scary scene.
I agree. I totally agree. I think it's
she
really
gets picked up by the elephant too. It's like you don't know what the fuck they're gonna do. Like like you said, like how claws work. Like I don't know how like the tusks or if it's like work. Like it's just there's not as much stuff with elephants, I guess, in pop culture as there is with big cats.
Yeah, especially
they mostly trample people. Yeah, I will say,
Dumbo. This is a pro-elephant propaganda.
I wasn't sure where you were going, Reegs, and in my mind you were going to say, you don't know where that trunk has been? It's probably got germs all over it.
It was also in the pond water.
But I don't know if
it's got that dude's blood all over it.
Yes.
It seemed like it was almost like constricting her, like a snake almost. That's terrifying to me. I don't know.
It's
and
scary.
the stomping too. I mean, when she fell on the ground and like right by the foot, and like you could just get your head. Oh man, no, thank you.
Nope.
Yeah,
I think I'd rather get killed by a lion.
Freaking animals.
It's probably quicker. And I don't know. At least you
should have just left them all in Antarctica.
You would like get eaten by a lion,
lion,
whereas like the elephant is not gonna eat you. It's just killing you just to kill you.
Yeah, having fun. Having a laugh.
That's right.
It was. You could tell it was having fun. Yeah, it was just having a laugh.
Yeah, stealing the Mickey. Now, with 10 miles to go, Hank is like, I'm just going to make a run for it, with Motivo holding the tigers back.
With an umbrella.
Now, Prentice is also on the move, and he takes out the first roaming lion he sees, his spree of retaliatory violence beginning. He also mentions that they're going to skin the valuable cats as well, so tack Greedy onto the list of shitty attributes about this guy.
Yeah, the worst.
Johnny takes
this part was inadvertently funny because they absolutely like backed some lions down it's not like a steep incline or anything, but those lions are tumbling. I also fully believe that several of them were drugged because they're like absolutely like ragdolling, but then you also see them move a little bit. It's really
Yeah, I wonder about that because
Yeah.
they're so committed to the humane treatment of them. But I wonder if they're like, well, we can't kill them, but we can, give them some drugs in their food or whatever. Like, I
Right.
wonder where
I
they
wonder
were
if
drawing the line because I
it
agree,
would
it
hold
seems like they're drugged.
would it hold up as humane today?
Right.
That's what I was.
if they
Yeah,
right. Like
humane when they started filming it in 1957.
yeah, exactly.
Mhm,
Like it
that
did
makes
look like
sense.
that was the only part of I get like it did seem like the rest of it was just like, cat lions fighting lions, but this is the part where I'm like, I don't know how they got around not like, injuring them a little bit or doing something,
Yeah.
like how did they get them to do this?
Yeah.
Did they
I don't
I don't
know.
know.
I don't know.
It's also a sad part of the movie.
Yeah,
Like,
objectively,
can't
this
these lions not just let them attack each other constantly all
Yeah.
the time? They're gonna tire themselves out.
This
That's
is the
right.
worst kind of people. Like these are some of the worst people to me too. Like the big game hunters out
Mhm.
there. Like
Ugh.
they just
get a new hobby, you losers.
Yeah.
Pick up knitting. Christ.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we're coming for you, dog from Duck Hunt.
Yeah.
The guy from Jimmy John's, right? Too isn't
Somebody
he?
at one time I had much longer hair.
That dentist.
Oh no. At one point I had much longer hair and my beard was much thicker. And somebody on the subway called me Duck Dynasty. And I was like, wow, first of all, very funny. And you got me roasted. But also, like, I was like deeply insulted that I was like, how
Yeah, I
fucking
would have
dare
been
you?
too.
What was the context? Was it like, oh, excuse me, Duck Dynasty, or was it like, hey, Duck Dynasty, you're in my seat?
Well,
Or were they like, hey, is your name Duck Dynasty?
Yeah.
it was because this lady said, Duck Dynasty.
Oh
Interesting.
my god.
I believe she
yeah.
was on drugs.
Okay, that's I don't care. That's the best thing I've ever heard ever. That's now my favorite scene in the movie. That is the best
Wow.
scene in the movie.
Well, there we go. There we go.
Should have gave me a million guesses and I would not have gotten there. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so.
George,
So-
George, I think you should keep it in and just bleep out part of it and just leave in the Duck Dynasty
I?
and then let people wonder what it was.
That would be
Especially because
funny.
this is the last episode.
That would be
usually.
funny. Actually, maybe I will do that.
Oh, promise to reveal it in the next episode.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So Johnny takes a motorcycle to go for help. He's gone about 5 feet before he's chased by a tiger, an elephant, and then several more cats in unison before immediately turning around because this was clearly a terrible idea.
He's also bad at riding the motorcycle.
He's so
Um,
bad at riding motorcycle.
I mean, he seems bad at it, and then he starts riding the motorcycle up the house's various catwalks. And I'm like, well, I don't think I could do that.
Right. That's where he seems very like nimble on it. Like he can make all these tight turns up the stairs, but then when he's in the open field just trying to get away from him, like just go fast,
Oh,
man.
So like maybe he's actually like doing like stunts as he rides because he's so
Yes.
good he can do the look like he's bad at it.
Yeah,
Well,
maybe
here's something interesting that I
Who
learned
the
from
fuck
the
knows?
commentary, which is
Is it
that
about lions?
No, this is actually about motorcycles.
Okay.
And
okay.
basically you can
Still on
look
board.
at the handlebars and one of them had custom handlebars and it was very tight, which makes it hard to control instead of a wider handlebar grip because it had to have a custom spot for the camera to be attached.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I did. They
Nice.
did notice a couple of camera shots here and
Yes.
Tiger trying to bite the wheel.
There you go. So
That makes more
hey,
sense.
Jan de Bont doing his damn best.
He really did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good. There's a lot
MacGyvering
of really
this.
good shots in this, and it's like we said, tense the whole time, that can only happen thanks to the power of his filming it.
And lions, the power of lions.
That's true. That is also a key
Power.
component. A key component.
That's why we eat them.
That's right.
Mm.
Ultimately, Johnny drives
Delicious.
the motorcycle off the roof into the water, which is a fun stunt.
Yes.
Less fun is that inside the house, a lion is currently devouring Melanie. It is a little rough. She even says the safe word Noel, which is the dad's actual name, though he didn't actually stop the shot. Something that was, I thought, very sad and
Jesus.
also very scary was that John said in the behind the scenes stuff, he said, we couldn't count on dad to save us or interrupt a shot. And like, that is really awful to hear. That like you didn't
It's awful to
trust your
hear,
father.
and then to see that scene and the fact that she actually called her. Jesus, man.
That's
It's
right.
I do know. Post this movie, Melanie Griffith did not like him and has no communication with him.
I wonder why. I wonder
Yeah.
why. And like I said, this is when she was really hurt. You luckily don't see anything like any blood, but you see enough to be like, well, that's clearly it when you know the backstory. Like it is really
Yeah.
much like the elephant scene, I think. There's a moment where it sort of passes really into uncomfortable because you're like, I can tell that I'm watching someone get hurt. Like,
Yeah.
It's awful.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I didn't catch that she said no, but
mhm.
that's sickening and it's upsetting to know that now.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
gross.
The boys rush in to wrestle it away. They're promptly overwhelmed by the rest of the pride coming in as well. Togar arrives.
Horror movie.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. This is truly like a home invasion movie. Like it absolutely is.
It's Home Alone, except that our heroes are the wet bandits.
Yeah, that's true.
Togar arrives, causing more chaos. They're jumping in the water from the roof again. They're hiding in barrels. They're hiding in barrels full of water, which only draws more attention. They're riding
God.
barrels down the catwalks. They're getting pushed off ladders into the water. They're getting pushed in barrels full of water in the water, where an elephant swings them around. This set honestly would be a sick playground. I must give it up.
100%.
It'd be cool as
100%.
fuck.
I definitely want to go there without all the lions.
That's
Yeah,
right.
keep Donkey Kong away from here. Am I right?
That's right.
All the barrels.
Seriously.
So true. Actually, Reegs, so true.
Yeah. Thank you. I forgot
Reeks, that
about
was
it.
so true.
Very insightful.
Maybe he was there though.
Maybe.
And that's
There were
why
a
all
lot
the
of barrels coming down.
There's a lot of barrels.
And like they don't come down on their own.
And is he not allowed to the sanctuary? Who knows?
Did they ever say it? That
Right.
he isn't there?
I didn't see any no Donkey Kongs allowed signs.
Oh, you can't rule it out.
They have to be prominently posted.
That's
or
right.
else you get a Donkey Kong.
That's right.
We all know this.
The Donkey
the
Kong
law, man.
administration
It's
comes
the
by and
law.
gives you a demerit if you don't have them prominently displayed. It's simple. Everyone learns this. You learn it just like you learn how to do your taxes in high school.
It's like embarrassing that we're even talking about it
Right,
because
right.
it's like people know it.
right.
Guys, I have to just I cannot remember the old man Donkey Kong, and I think
Cranky Kong.
it's
Cranky Kong.
crappy
Oh.
Kong, right?
Crappy. It is crappy
Crappy
Kong.
Kong.
Yeah.
That's after he dies and he's the ghost of Donkey Kong 64.
Yeah. Just crapping himself all the
That's
time.
right. That's
It's
right.
like, why is this in the game?
Now, John was actually pushed into the water in a barrel for real, but only, big quotes around only, from the second floor instead of the fourth floor, like we see edited together. And after he goes in, the elephant tusk jamming through the barrel broke his tooth.
Are you kidding me?
No, that's real, baby.
So that was a scary part to me too when the tusk broke through because it's just
Oh, it's
how do you
Absolutely frightening.
you don't have a lot of wiggle room in a barrel.
No,
too.
actually, that's a really good point as well, too.
Yeah.
RE wiggle room, not a lot.
That's
not
right.
a lot.
CC.
Minimal.
All. Me sending back an email that was like, please take me off this chain.
Please take me out of this, James. This doesn't apply to me.
Me reply all nonstop pictures of sexy crappy Kong.
And look, that's just a picture of Crappy Kong as far as I'm
Right.
concerned. They're all sexy. Melanie is being intimidated in the house by a room full of basically all the other kinds of cats. There's a mountain lion, a black panther, a cheetah,
Yep.
and a leopard.
Yep.
The shootings are racking up on the outskirts as well. Prentice is going fucking wild. There are some sad moments with the presumably tranquilized cats, but it is effective. And then, sweet release, Togar takes him out.
Okay.
Oh, Togar.
I watched it 3 times just to see if I could tell for sure, but it's such old footage that it's grainy. I'm fairly certain that at the scene where they cut to Scar leaping at Prentice on the motorcycle, it is just a giant stuffed animal lion. I'm
be.
fairly positive. All the other scenes, like they piece it together well, but just that one shot, I swear to God, it's just a giant stuffed animal.
Oh, I want to watch it again now. I have to check. Yeah, but-
I mean, how
And I'm
do
not
you...
talking like, I don't mean like they stuffed a lion. I mean like you went to the carnival and you landed the ball in the goldfish bowl or whatever, and
Yeah.
you got the big prize, and
Yeah.
you got a lion.
Oh, that was the best.
Look, if I got one, I would throw it at people in a movie too.
All the time.
100%. Especially if you're making a movie about lions.
Right. I bet that was actually what kicked off their actual fascination. Is they're like, well, we got this stuffed lion, we got to use it in something. Might as well make this movie about these lions.
How do we work with this? What have we got?
What if we made a movie about throwing this lion at each other?
But truly,
okay,
I don't know.
I like it.
I don't know how you could fake this in quotes with the quote unquote actors. Like, they talked about, like, okay, Togar was actually a very nice lion, but the way that they riled him up was like, if you brought him around female lions and then tried to take them away, he would act up. And so, like, the idea of being like, okay, let's get this lion all fucking horned up and then ride past him on a motorcycle so that he can attack you. Like, even for as crazy as this movie has been, that feels like tempting fate.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It does.
So I get the thrown stuffed lion, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, because then you would probably have, at least one death on your hand if that was the bridge you're going to cross.
You better hope you get it on the first fucking scene or on the first take too.
Yeah. Could you imagine?
No,
it's a good moment.
Well,
this long villainous arc is finally brought to a close. We learned a lot about the character and really saw the humanity in him. And by that, I mean when the lion ripped him apart.
Right. We saw in
the human pieces.
Yeah, that's right. Hank tries to interfere and gets into a fight with a lion, which is also wild, but it works, I guess.
You'd think I'd be desensitized by now. I'm not. I'm still upset by it.
It's crazy. And also, like, hey, man, those guys are dead already. You should leave. You should get away from here.
Yeah, just get out of here.
Yeah.
That's what she's been doing the whole time. You were at an airport.
That's right.
Went the wrong direction.
Right?
That's right. Back at the house.
Get rid of that. You've already gotten rid of the family once. Just do it again.
He's doing a parent trap.
Right.
Now they're stuck here, and he's going to go live the life in New York or wherever.
Right?
Take that, suckers.
Yeah. A ferocious comedy.
That's right.
It's so ferocious.
Back at the house, the cats are all tuckered out. Fun scene of them all sleeping with the family in a pile, basically.
It's adorable. It's that wholesomeness we've been seeing the whole time.
Yeah, that's right.
This is another part too where they get to this side house and they they lure it into like, oh no, this one's secure. And they go through a fence and everything, and then they just don't close the door. And then of course the lions follow them.
Yeah.
If you don't close the door, you're gonna get lions.
Right.
That's how you get lions.
Lions.
Yep.
And they think they're
the old
waking
line
up.
from Archer. We all know it. That's how you get lions.
Anyway, another dumb decision they made.
Another dumb decision, but they're basically like, oh, we like them now. Because I guess like they're like, well, they could have eaten us in our sleep if they wanted to. So that is that's part of it. And also they see a cute little lion cub chirping at them. So they're like, well, all right, they're fucking cute. We're going to pet and admire them. And this loving moment is ironically another time when Melanie got her face torn up from behind by a lioness.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Togar arrives, freshly fed and ready to fight Robbie, with the family cowering behind. And Hank arrives to yell Togar and Madeline a bunch. And when he sees the family, he stops to hug them. And this seems to like stun the lions into ceasing their fight. They're like, wow, it's crazy that you stopped in the middle of this to hug them. So they like give each other a little nuzzle. To me, I was like, is that supposed to be confirmation of his theory from before that they're brothers? That they like nuzzle each other a little bit here?
I guess. Didn't pay off for me.
No.
No, I suppose not. But it is a joyful reunion between Hank and Madeline, at least. And Motivo even makes it back as well.
With his umbrella.
And this happy ending montage just makes me laugh so much.
Mm-hmm. they use this. They use the same dialogue a couple times. I noticed. Like There's repeats.
Yeah.
Over each other. That's funny.
That's right. There's plenty of hugs going around. There's praise for Robbie for defending them, which makes sense. But then they play like a funny on the nose song and lots of very cute footage. There's like kittens flailing adorably, parents and babies snuggled up. But the damage is done, Roar.
Mhm.
We've seen them in action already.
Yeah.
And also Motivo rides a lion. But it actually is fake Motivo because they shot this as test footage for fundraising, and then that guy took another job.
Oh, good for him.
Smart move.
Yeah.
Smart move.
He got to ride a lion and leave, and that's his legacy.
I think the interesting thing at the end of the movie is when after the really cutesy stuff, and then just one last title card, and it says, "This is why we need to kill all lions."
Yeah.
That was
Which,
strange.
Take heed.
yeah.
Yeah.
Took a real turn at the end.
Yeah, it did. I didn't like that part, and I didn't like. I mean, the tone at the end was so bizarre. Like, I didn't feel comforted. I didn't feel like, oh, this is good now.
Right.
Like, oh, they're safe now.
Now we
I-
live here with the lions.
Right.
Yes.
Like, it's like, are these people like, I don't know what's going on. Like, but like this, no one seems sane. Like, Motivo's the only one that seems like, and even he is like kind of mingling with them. Like, get the fuck.
Roar
out
2
of
takes
there.
place the next day, and it's just them dead for 90 minutes.
Dead. Yeah.
See their decomposing corpse. Like, that's rough.
Yeah. That's Roar 2, baby. Green light.
100%. I think we could make
Yeah.
that.
I think the ending to this movie is the ending to the movie that they intended to make, but not the movie that they made.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that joyful tone that they think they've been giving us the whole time.
I don't know. It's like when someone is like thinks they're so right about something, and then it's just the smugness that comes with that, and then everyone's telling them, "No, you're wrong about this," and they just won't buy it. It's just,
I mean, I think
Spot on, dude.
JP
Spot
nailed it
on.
when he was like, they are gaslighting us. They are literally gaslighting
100%.
us. Like, look at how nice this movie was that we all wound up loving these big cats. And you're like, you shouldn't. You should run away from them.
I cannot believe like the ferocious comedy like really throws me. Like I cannot believe that was the tagline to it. Like what was supposed to be funny? Like what was the
At
like,
one point Tippy said, look what the cat dragged in. That
Look
was
at the
funny.
cat dragging.
That's
Yes,
funny.
that is the comedy of the movie. That's the one joke in the movie.
That's
and
right.
it landed.
the stuff that
Landed
was
with me.
the other dialogue. I laughed a few times in the movie where the brothers dialogue too. Like it's like it's like 1950s style slur. Like golly gee, look at all these lions. Like not an appropriate reaction to the situation you're in. Like it's
Why you riding away on a bike, melon head?
yeah. It's just like what? It's like how come no one is freaking out? That's just that's what I was thinking the whole time.
That's right. That's right. And now, boys, we've reached the part of the episode where we sum up why this is not just a good horror movie, but is in fact the best horror movie of all time. Wow. Settled law. The final best horror movie ever made.
Literally the best horror movie
that's right.
ever made.
And I'm going to let you guys start. Let's start with JP.
All right. If I really want to say why this is the best, I have never been more scared watching a movie. I have never been more unsettled watching a movie. I feel like I said it before, and I'm really like been thinking about it. It feels like a found footage movie, and I found the footage. Like I'm looking at the raw version of what happened to these people in real time. No one's edited it. No one has taken away the horrible parts, and it's all there for me to watch. It's so jarring. It's so there's so much going on in every shot of it. And then also, this is a beautifully shot movie. If you used some of this footage in actual animal documentaries, it would be amazing. Fucking get Attenborough over here, like narrating this movie. Wildly different. Really could have been something amazing there. But it is what it is. And it's just fucking weird, man. It's so weird. It's a passion project. And you do see that passion up there. You do really understand that they want to save these animals. They're going about it the absolute fuck all wrong way, but they're doing it. And you have to love that. But also, there's kitty cats.
So true. So true.
Nice.
Reeves, let's hear it, man. Why is this the best horror movie ever made?
Wow. Well, it's tough because, like I said, from minute one, I echo everything JP said. I was uncomfortable. This is the most, I said that exact same thing to Erin, my wife, that it was the scariest movie I've ever watched. And because I know it was real, because it's scarier on a level that other movies can't be scary, because this is real. Like, that it's, like I said, it should have been, it's almost like it shouldn't, it felt like a mistake that I was watching it, like that. Right. It was found footage, that it shouldn't have existed, that this should just be a documentary of a movie they tried to make.
That's what this felt like, was watching Faces of Death.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, I had flashbacks to that because I remember there was one about a lion, I think, like when I was like junior high, I saw, or some shit like that. It was, but yeah, that's what it felt like, and it felt wrong, and it felt weird to be watching this and uncomfortable, and like that's like I've never felt that way about a movie. And like, hats off to the cinematographer. I keep forgetting his name, even though we've mentioned it so many times. But Jan de Bont, he's the only reason I feel like that this felt like a movie, because otherwise it just seems like this. I don't even know how to categorize it.
I had never considered that, but like imagining this movie with someone like, just like with even if they only had like a workman's understanding of how to shoot, and they weren't like one of the best action like filmers, like Jan de Bont is in an echelon that is very high. Speed is incredible. Twister is incredible. He shoots action in a way that is incredible.
Yes.
And so even if it was just like a normal cinematographer that they wrangled into this movie, like, it's so easy to imagine this just being like static shots of lions attacking people. Like, just like a locked down camera, and you're just watching in terror.
I wanted it to be over. And I wanted it to be over because it's weird. It's strange. Like, it gave me a sense of like, I know this is a good horror movie because of how I felt afterwards. Did I enjoy watching this though? I don't know. It gave me a lot of weird, uncomfortable feelings, but I'm glad I experienced it. And that is, and also the tone, I have to say, close out with that. It's just bizarre, to put it lightly. But yeah, it had a lot of things in it. And I think I'll be thinking about this one for a while, and I'm still a little afraid from watching it.
Yeah. I guess now you're afraid of elephants too.
Yeah, elephants too. Now I know more about, I don't fuck with elephants now.
That's right.
Yeah. You gotta stop doing that. We've been telling you for years.
Yeah, I know. I keep trying to, but
Reeves is like, I got a line on an elephant dealer, and we're like, Reeves, no, dude, don't do that.
It's just going to be an elephant in a trench coat, and he's there to beat you up.
I know. That's happened too many times. But yeah, this is why it's the best horror movie ever made.
So true. To me, this is the best horror movie ever made, because I have always talked about how the scariest thing a movie can do for me is to actually make me suspend my disbelief. The way that we engage with movies has changed, and as someone who watches things at a remove, I think that a movie that can break through that is really, really powerful. And, I'm not necessarily scared of ghosts or demons, but I'm scared of a guy with a knife type thing, because it is grounded, because it is possible. And then a movie like Last House on Dead End Street plays with that to break down the Brechtian barrier, right? The reflexivity, the idea that, like, yes, we understand that this is a play, and so we're gonna press on that barrier to be like, there are themes that you should be engaging with, like all these things that make you aware of the fact that you are watching something. It's not really in this. It goes one step further because it genuinely is real. Like, yes, there's a plot happening around the horror, but this is halfway to an actual snuff film. People get hurt. And what is as bad is that even when people aren't being hurt on screen, there is the constant threat of it looming over the movie the
Yes.
entire time. Even when no one is actively bleeding, you're just waiting for something to go wrong. I have pet cats. I have been torn up many times, sometimes by accident, sometimes because they're done playing, sometimes because you look at them wrong and they'll swipe at you.
They suck. I love them.
Love them, but they are temperamental on occasion. And yes, is there a plot? Yes, technically. Does it matter in the slightest? No. This movie is sort of the essence of an exploitation movie, although I'm sure that they would reject that label. But with the beauty of an animal friendly shoot and the terror that it facilitates, this weird tone and surreality, the terror that it creates is so much more impactful than any plot could hope to be. Like if
100%.
if this movie succeeded at being a ferocious comedy, who would be talking about it?
No one.
Nobody.
Yeah,
There-
nobody remembers Kangaroo Jack, huh?
Well, I actually do remember it, but not.
I
I
do
don't remember
too.
what happened.
Kangaroo's only rarely in that movie.
That's right. So the fact of the matter is that this really is like a pure exploitation movie. We are watching it to see the threat of animals attacking, and folks, it delivers in fucking spades. There are
Mhm.
animals attacking constantly, and what's worse is that there are people ignoring the fact that there are cats attacking constantly. And yeah, that gaslighting, it just creates this weird tone, and it is fucking bizarre. It's just so fucking bizarre. I love it. There is nothing like this.
No.
People say that you couldn't make Blazing Saddles anymore, and they're so wrong. But you couldn't make Roar anymore.
No.
No.
No one would be.
Thank God for that.
No one in their right mind would sign up for it. Like that's yeah, it's
Even the people who made Roar are like, we
It shouldn't
shouldn't
have.
have done this.
and that's what
Mhm.
pisses me off,
Shouldn't-
that it almost like it's for nothing too, because it wasn't a commercial success. Like they couldn't even
Not even
release
close.
it here. They couldn't even release it here, like in the
Right.
States. Like they had to release it in like Germany and Japan, and then
Right.
it just got picked up like within the last 10 years, right? So it's like they all
Yeah.
kind of sustained all of this for nothing.
Right.
And this is why I think it is important to say, but they did use this to jumpstart a really wonderful foundation
That
and
is
an
great.
animal sanctuary. And so like because I totally agree otherwise, and George is totally exploitative, and that's what it's trying to do. And
Well, yes,
Reeves,
but
as
even-
to when it was picked up by Alamo Drafthouse, and they got Tippy to agree to, like, she was going to come and talk, and then she realized that the way they were marketing the movie was that it's like funny in the way that The Room is funny. That how did this, I mean, shout out to the podcast. How did this get made? It's because it's insane, and she refused. She refused to be part of that, because for her it is a pure thing that was really trying to bring about good, and she didn't want it to be laughed at.
Right.
And I think that is admirable and also insane. It is a movie we should be laughing at, like not
It's
because of
shocking.
the
It's
harm,
just shocking.
but because in what world is this movie allowed to be made?
Right.
And how are they quantifying the success? Because if it's not like a success from the movie, then like, did they bring a lot of, and they started the foundation, which is great, but like, I don't know, like they could have done a lot. If that was their mission to do that, like, did they bring a lot of money into the foundation, or like, how did that?
That's what could they have done with the 17 million if they had cut the movie part of it out?
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
And-
Yeah, it's kind of reminds
yeah.
me of like how they host, like you see like them hosting all these like really expensive charity fundraisers, and it's like, just give the money to charity instead of hosting
Yeah.
the party, just
Yeah.
Cut out
No,
the
you guys just wanna
middleman, but
dress
then
up
how,
and-
how would we pat ourselves on the back?
yes.
No, we're
yes.
raising money for TBD. Oh, good for you.
That's right. Yes, I totally agree. I think it is, certainly something nice came out of it, but it is, I think it also is like a really interesting, like, warning about where the borders of good taste and filmmaking are. Like,
Mm,
Tippy said in the making of, I think adversity can make you stronger, but I think we had too much. Like that is like,
Jesus.
you're just like, Christ, Tippy. But I like it's on screen, right? You see
Yeah.
that on screen, and it is abject horror in the most true sense, in that you are watching people give it all for their art and get nothing in return except injuries.
A lot of injuries.
A
Yeah.
lot of injuries, and that's what makes this the best horror movie ever made.
Wow.
The
Wow.
reigning champion.
Reigning champion. That's funny.
Crazy.
That's funny that it's going out on Roar. Hey, what can we say, folks?
Katy Perry would be proud.
It is the best.
That's right. That's right. And now that we've reached the end, I want to give you guys one last opportunity to plug anything that you might want to plug. Reegs, let's start with you, man.
Oh, wow. That's first, I'd like to plug the back catalog of Best Little Whorehouse in Philly. You should really check that out. It is a fantastic show. George puts so much work into it, more work than I could ever put into a podcast, and then I've ever seen anybody else put into a podcast. So, and he gets some really banger guests. And if you're listening to this, you probably love a lot of them. So go check that out for sure. And also check out We Heard About Pluto. You know, we're probably we're thinking about bringing that back sometime in the near future. And
I think we should. I think tonight reminded the three of us of how much fun we have doing this.
we have a lot of we have a blast chopping it up. So we should bring so just look out for that. Check out the back catalog until we have new episodes. But for me personally, just follow me at Twitter, Riggs815. That's where I exist on the interwebs.
Hit him up. Lost bracket still in full swing, I assume.
Lost, yes. As of right now, we're about to enter the final four. The final it'll be starting when this episode drops. So yeah, go check that out.
Who are the final four?
Sawyer, Hurley, Locke, and Desmond.
I feel like Hurley has the advantage of the Weezer fandom getting behind him.
Yeah,
nice.
Hurley's been doing well. Yeah, there was some trolls. Like I put Mac's character into it. Aldo, he's in like 2 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Rob McElhenney from Mac from It's Always Sunny.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of trolls caught wind of that and got him into advance. So Hurley's quadrant got a little effed, but it should be exciting. Should be exciting. Check it out. Riggs815.
There you go. Nice. All right, JP, hit him up.
Yeah, I'm less and less on social media these days, though, you know, dabbling a little, still lurking. I want to absolutely, though, double down. You got to go back and listen to some bangers. This podcast has been so amazing. When I'm not a guest, I'm still keeping up with it. George, I don't know how you got some of the guests you got, including Mike Regan. Like, I don't know how you pulled that off, dude. No, it's... The passion you put into this has just been really, really impressive and awe-inspiring, and has really made me think about the kind of projects I do in life and how much I should be giving to them. So really great run. Everybody go check out those back episodes. You know, I can say Blair Witch was really good.
Lost Boys, that was a standout.
And Lost Boys was a great one. X was really good. I really liked when you did Suspiria. That was really good.
That was good.
Suspiria was fun.
Plenty of back catalog episodes featuring these two gentlemen individually and us as a trio. So, you know, great place to start if you enjoyed this. And then, yeah, plenty of other very, very fun episodes in the old back catalog. Find a new movie. Find a new favorite, you know. Check something new out. That's what it's all about, baby.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, I guess as far as my plugs, my one last real plug is that if you're listening to this as it airs on October 20th, we will be doing the actual quote unquote secret live finale of the show, where it will not be recorded and it will not be released. But if you're in the Philadelphia area, we're going to be doing a free show where we talk about the movies that I am most surprised didn't get picked for the podcast, and then a section with rotating guests about the movies that I most wish had been picked for the podcast.
Interesting.
That'll be fun.
And when and where?
This is October 20th at Philomoka here in Philadelphia, which is my very favorite venue in the city. So I am really looking forward to that. It'll be a dang hoot. Free to enter. If you want to throw a few bucks in a jar to help cover the cost of rental, that certainly will not be turned down. But yeah, it's really more about sending the show off right than about making a buck. So we just want to make sure that people are able to get in there.
That's right. Well deserved to the show deserves to ride out on a high note like that. So
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I do encourage people to check out the back catalog. There are a lot of great episodes and plenty of them that are less familiar movies to people. I am always a little sad that they do not always get the same love as some of the more popular ones. So I definitely encourage people to go back and check out a movie that they have not heard of before. Use this as sort of a guide to check out some really cool movies because every single one of them somebody came on to talk about as the best, right? So there's got to be something good about it. Now that we're done, leave a review, right? One final review. You can finally make an informed decision about the entirety of the show. No
yes.
more hemming and hawing. Who knows if it takes a downturn? It's over. So you can finally make your assessment, leave a review. I'd love to hear from people about what are some movies that they did watch for the first time from the podcast and enjoyed. I think that would be cool. Helping people discover new stuff was definitely a big part of the show for me, and discovering new things myself as well. I've mentioned before that Cure, the Kurosawa film, is one of my favorites now, and I had never heard of it before, but it's fucking incredible and enjoying a well-deserved resurgence. So yeah, just really, really cool to learn to discover new movies. And so I thank all the guests who helped me do that. And thanks to all the guests in general. Certainly JP and Reegs have supported me a lot throughout the 5 years that we've been doing the show. And I have been very grateful that they have donated so much of their time as the most appearing guests.
Wow.
And always being willing to let me, get my own picks and stuff in there too has always been, really exciting and a fun opportunity for me. So thanks to you both for that. Thanks to all the guests in general. Everybody came to it with a real passion, and that helps me be passionate about it as well. So that's cool. Thanks to all the listeners. Obviously, this did way better than I ever fucking expected it to. Hopefully that was because people recognized that I was passionate as well. And, I'm not gonna lie, I did put a lot of fucking work into this show. So I like to think that people recognized that, and I would just appreciate that it sort of was a two-way street, that there was some people who were like, you know what, I am going to tell people about the show and I am going to pass it around because it's not just reading Wikipedia. That put a little more into it than that. Thanks to everyone. Yeah, everyone, if you supported the show, you know who you are, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much. This has been a hell of a ride. There's nothing that says it can't come back at some point if I feel inclined. So don't unsubscribe, especially because all of the Patreon episodes are going to start appearing on the main feed now. Certainly there will be quote unquote new episodes for quite a while still, even if you unless you were a patron, you are sadly punished for your generosity by not getting new episodes, but those will be coming out as well, so keep an eye out for those. That's it, I guess, right?
Wow.
Does it seem like I'm missing anything? Is this the end of the show?
That's crazy.
I think
You
that's
got
it.
everything though.
I think that's it. I feel like I covered it all. There's no check out the Instagram, I guess, Little Horror PHL, in case I do anything new. You'll probably hear about it
When?
there first. Who knows? Who the
Yes.
fuck knows? And also check out Letterboxd if you want to keep hearing movie reviews from me, Little Horror PHL. Sometimes it's a pithy one-liner. Sometimes it is way more than anybody cares to read. So you never know what you're going to get over there.
I
Right?
follow George on Letterboxd and his reviews are good. So I'll
Thank
co-sign that.
Thank you. That's it. This is the end.
Wow.
Goodbye forever until it's not forever. All right. Bye.